sack. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again to the 35.
Hungry dogs run faster.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Having Juice with OJ. And I'm here with my co-host, Juan. What's good, bro?
What's going on, Oliver?
Chilling. So today we are starting off a little bit different. Obviously, you see we have some props today, which is pretty good because we had none. But we're starting off today with a little Woodford Reserve that I got custom made for me. It says, Having Juice with OJ on it. So, to start off the pod, I decided we're going to take a shot.
All right.
Before we get into a little bit of NBA drafts, basically just talking about the Sixers and what happened with that. And then we're going to move on to the home run derby that happens a week after this comes out. Put the cap on for you. And then we're going to have a little bit of our all-time who we would love to see if we could pull them all together and put them in a home run derby.
Talk some power.
Yeah, and then, of course, we're also going to talk a little bit about my main man, Sketch, who's down bad right now. I feel bad for the boy.
Yeah.
But we're just going to start off with this shot. Cheers.
Brother.
Cheers. Not too shabby.
I'll take it.
I'll take that for you, Juan.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so we're just going to get right into it. We had the NBA draft happen, Juan, and the 76ers select with their 16 overall pick, Jared McCain out of Duke. This kid is a 6'2" sharpshooter, as some would say. I mean, he shot over 40% from three. How do you feel about this pick for the Sixers, and how does this push them? Like, is he going to be able to progress into the rotation this year?
I think he has to. I don't think they have another guard at the moment that is able to run a second unit or even like stand by Maxey. I see people, a lot of people are saying Uber is going to play the two, Eric Gordon, and I'm fine with like Eric Gordon playing the two, but I think you need another point guard, somebody that can handle the ball. I think he has to work on his facilitating, work on his playmaking, but watching him in the summer league the other day, he looked good. He gets to the rim. He can shoot well. He didn't shoot well the other night, but you saw in college over 40%. I think it was a good pick. I think it was a need pick and also one of the best players available. You look at who went right after him and Connect, and like, sure, that was a good fit for the Sixers, but the Sixers need defense in the same breath. And Jared McCain's a little small, but last night he was hustling. He was diving for steals, getting after loose balls, poking balls. So I think it's a good fit. I think, again, like they need another guard. Even right now, I think they can go after another guard to kind of run the second unit. Because I don't know if he's going to come in and quite do that. Yeah. But I like the pick. I think it was a good pick overall. I like guys out of Duke, you know. We'll take the well-coached guys from the blue blood schools. So overall, I hope it works out, and I think it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you had Dalton Connect next, like you said. When I watched them not pick him, I was kind of surprised. I was kind of a little, like, thrown back, but then I kind of knew where they were going with it. They need somebody who can shoot the ball from the three. Yeah. They need somebody who's going to hustle, and that's somebody in Jared McCain. Hopefully, he doesn't make a lot of TikToks throughout.
He's going to.
Yeah, throughout the postseason, though. You really don't want it during that time. But other than that, I think he's a great pick. Who cares what he does outside of basketball? Exactly. I mean, it literally does not matter. Like, people are just using it just to get clicks and likes on
marketing
Instagram.
At this point.
Yeah,
These
literally.
They're trying to market themselves, and some people do it in ways that the public doesn't like per se.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's going to ball out. He balled out in college. He balled out in high school. You know, top 16 pick in the draft. And now he's in a good city with some good players around him. So I think he's going to do well here.
I agree. Also, what I noticed in the Summer League game was that he kind of like slowed it down. Yeah. Which, like, Summer League game, it's kind of like a glorified pickup game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not anything special, but it's kind of like you look at it and you try to find the pieces that you know can fit in an NBA game. Yeah. And somebody I also heard people talking about was Ricky Council. Yeah. How do you feel about him after watching him? Do you think he can be a rotational piece for you?
So that's another guy I think is going to have to be. I think that the Sixers are pretty thin right now. You're going to have to find a couple of these guys in the Summer League. And to me, when you watch Summer League, you see players that stand out. They look like NBA players, whereas they're playing against fringe NBA players, you know, like minor leaguers per se. And Ricky Council last night stood out. Jared McCain last night stood out. Adam Bona, the second-round pick, he also stood out. And then Jeff Dowling, who spent a little bit of time on the Sixers bench at the end of last season, he stood out too as somebody who he's just a good ball handler. He can just kind of run an offense for you. So, but back to Ricky Council, I mean, he looks athletic. He can shoot. He can dunk the ball. Mm-hmm. He plays solid defense. I like Ricky Council a lot. I hope that he can get into the rotation. I think Nick Nurse likes him, but you know, he's got an uphill battle at the end of the day. He's going to be a bottom of the bench guy that's going to have to prove himself. And if he keeps playing like he did in the summer league, I don't see why he can't.
I agree. And you just brought up somebody who was the last person I wanted to talk about with the Sixers, Bona. He's a 6'11" big man from UCLA.
See, I keep seeing different. I've seen 6'8". I've seen
really
6'9".
He's all over the place.
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of different heights for him.
Okay, so someone's lying on the internet.
Somebody.
But
lying.
I also heard he has a 7'4" wingspan. Who knows
long.
that? Yeah, he's a very, very long guy. Very serious defensive oriented player.
Yeah.
How do you feel him fitting in with the Sixers?
I think he's somewhat of an elevated Paul Reed. He's
I like that.
He's more athletic. He's got to work on his perimeter game. He's got to work on a little bit of an outside touch. He's mostly just going to get to the paint right now. But he can guard, all the wings almost. Last night he was an energy guy. He brought energy. He was dunking on people. Jared McCain threw him a nice lob. That's somebody that I was a little weary of when we drafted him. I didn't want another Paul Reed. I didn't want another 6'8", 6'9" power forward who's supposed to be a backup big. I don't think that fits well when you're real big as a 7'2" dominant force, you know? So I think Bona last night showed me that he's got it. He's got the juice. He's got the energy to bring it. And I'm excited to see if he can develop too, because if he can, then it gives the Sixers a nice little four-piece that they don't really have right now.
And did you see anything else from the draft from the Sixers that you liked? Because that was kind of my synopsis for them.
No, I mean, I think that they drafted – the two picks that they got were – picks of need and also guys that I think that can develop. Yeah. You'll see the second round's a crapshoot. You never really know what you're going to get. But I liked what I saw in the one summer league game that he played in. He looked good. Like I said, I'm big on energy. I like that he was out there hustling. He looks like he wants to make it. Yeah. And City of Philadelphia loves that. So as long as you keep bringing that, him and McCain, I think that they'll be fine.
And what would you grade the draft performance from the Sixers if you were to give it a grade?
I don't love doing the grades because, quite frankly, they haven't played professional basketball yet.
A little early grade. How about that one?
I'll give it a B right now.
B?
I'll give it a B.
That's way lower than SportsCenter has it. That's crazy.
That's fine. I mean, I just again.
I agree with you though. The grades this early don't really make sense.
I mean, here's where we can go on the negatives, right? Bona's not a center per se. He's You said 6'11". I've seen 6'8", 6'9". So the fact that that's even up in the air means he's probably smaller than he should be. Yeah. So that's one. And then two, Jared McCain, he could be just another Maxey, which isn't a bad thing. But is that a complementary piece to Maxey, or is that both these guys need the ball and are both, just get to the rim, and then they can find their shot? If they can work well together, then it's going to work out well. But if they end up being the same player, I don't know how well of a fit it will end up being,
Yeah, so you got an honest grade. I like that. Yeah. I like that. That concludes the Sixers draft. We're just going to keep it pushing into what we have lined up right here, because we've got the basketball down there. We've got these baseball guys up here in Mariano and Mike Schmidt, two GOATs. But yeah, obviously the All-Star weekend is coming up. It starts the 17th, I believe. Yeah. And the Home Run Derby is something that I still find so fascinating. And there's a couple different rules that happen, so I'll kind of explain the rules to the people. But let's start off with who's going to be in it. We've got Gunnar Henderson from the Baltimore Orioles. You've got Alec Boehm from the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah. Woo. You got Pete Alonso from the New York Mets. Not a surprise. He's always in this stuff. Always. Bobby Witt Jr., a little undersized guy going out there for the Kansas City Royals. And then Marcell Ozuna and Atlanta Braves, who the Phillies absolutely hate. So I think this is hilarious that you've got a Philly and you got a Brave in there.
And a Met.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just start off simply. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I took Gunnar. I think Gunnar's gonna come out and put on a show. He's just got a violent swing that I think works really well in home run derbies as long as he can pace himself and not get too tired. 27 homers on the year. I just think he's one of those young guys that wants his name to be up there with the upper echelon of players, and this is a way to do it. This is a way to not that he hasn't put himself on the map, but another way to just cement how good of a year he's really having. So I took Gunnar to take it all.
Yeah, by the way, me and Juan never look at each other's lists beforehand. Ever. So, yeah, I also had Gunnar Henderson. I really like his swing for the home run derby. If you've seen it, it's an aggressive swing, like you said. It's a hack like Bryce Harper hack. And I love just watching him play in general, and I would love to see him win this. So I picked him, and he's got good odds. I think it was like plus 500. Because Pete Alonso was like plus 230 to win. But I just don't know if he can take it. When's the last time he won? 21?
21, yeah.
Yeah, 19 and 21.
He got knocked out in the first round last year.
Yeah.
I think Ozuna's a little bit of an underdog. He's another one that just has a violent swing.
I think he gets fatigued earlier.
I think because he tries to golf it. And I can see how he gets fatigued. Boom. Love you, brother. What are we doing, though?
Love you, brother.
We couldn't find somebody that has more than 11 homers for the home run derby.
I mean, that was sad.
Yeah, again, boom. I'm glad you love this place now. I'm glad you're starting in the actual All-Star game, but 11 homers in a home run derby is a little light. You love doubles. If this was a doubles derby, you'd probably win it, but yeah, maybe he comes out and surprises us, and that'd be awesome, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just can't. I write off him and Bobby Witt right away. Even though Bobby does hit he does hit him.
He does.
He doesn't hit him far. I don't think he can. Like, he reminds me, like, kind of Mookie Betts of, like, last year's home run derby.
What if I told you Bobby Witt has the longest home run of all these guys this year?
What?
Yeah.
They were 446, though, I thought.
So I have here Gunner's long was 430. Bohm's long of 427, Pete's long of 446, Bobby Witt's long of 468, and Ozuna of 446.
Wait, and what does Bobby Witt have? He doesn't have 470.
468 was his long this year.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm actually thrown away by that because, wow, that's a bomb for him.
Yeah. So
wow. Okay, so like I'm totally wrong.
He's a line drive kind of guy, but he's another guy that I think could. He's a showman. I think that Bobby wants to put on a show.
Okay.
I think he kind of surprises somebody, wins his first round matchup.
Okay.
Or gets blown out the water.
It's weird though the way that they have it this year for the home run derby because you don't go head to head this year.
Really? I didn't really look at the format.
So I looked up this format.
Okay.
The format is way different than it's ever been because usually you go head to head versus somebody and then you lose and you move on and you wait longer. This is supposed to be quicker, better for fatigue.
Okay.
So you've got all 8 participants will compete simultaneously. With the top 4 advancing, there will be no head-to-head matchups or predetermined seeds in the round.
Interesting.
Time and pitch limits. Hitters will have 3 minutes or 40 pitches, whichever comes first, in the first and semi-final rounds. The final round will have 2 minutes and 20 or 27 pitches. The bonus period, instead of a timed bonus, hitters will have 3 outs. A 425-foot home run earns a 4th out, allowing for potential unlimited runs. Semifinals and finals, the top 4 hitters from the first round will be seeded 1 through 4 based on their performance, with the 1 versing the 4 and the 2 versing the 3, obviously. Mm-hmm. The tiebreakers, first round ties will be broken by longest home run distance. Semifinal and final ties will use a 60-second swing-off, followed by 3 swing-offs if needed. Timeouts, hitters get 1 45-second timeout per round.
Interesting.
It's way different than what we've seen. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm a fan of
I like head-to-head.
The old school. So the head-to-head's fine. I'm a fan of the old school 10 outs. You know,
wow.
When we were watching
Josh
Hamilton pound 50 in a round. Like, I like that kind of format.
Okay.
I get how you want to change things up and kind of evolve it. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's kind of like it's like a round robin almost, where everybody just takes as many swings as they can in 3 minutes. 40 pitches in 3 minutes. I feel like that's a good lot of pitches.
Yeah.
And you get seated off of that. I don't know. I think that kind of throws a wrench into some things, but because I feel like some players get motivated by having to chase that number of, this guy in front of me got 24, I got to get 25. Whereas now you're just kind of free swinging. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely different. We'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I guess they'll just revert right back to the head-to-head.
Right.
We'll keep it moving with the questions that we had that you came up with. Who hits the farthest ball?
I took Pete. I think he's got the most power out of all of these guys.
Okay.
I saw that the longest home run in Arlington ever was around like 505-ish.
That's a bomb.
Home run derby. I say Pete Alonso. I think somebody gets one over 5, just as a home run derby tradition.
Yeah.
And if anybody's gonna do it here, I go Pete. And if not Pete, then I'll take Ozuna.
Yeah.
Ozuna's just got that like violent uphill swing that if he catches the right velocity and launch angle, it's gone.
I agree. I actually did Marcell Ozuna for this one because Pete's just like such a boring pick to me at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even like seeing him participate anymore.
Same.
But he's just out there and he loves to do it. So good for him. I mean, he does it every single time he's called to.
Yeah.
Like you said, you wish there was somebody else who could have been called up other than Alec Boehm to do this with 11 homers. He's somebody who always steps up and does this. So I like Pete for that, but I really don't want to see you get the farthest home run. So I went Marcell. Like you said, his launch angle, the way he hits bombs are specifically like on an upwards angle, so that would carry far. And it's an indoor stadium, so there's no wind that's going to factor in with this.
Yeah.
Who would you have wanted to see? I know you had a couple more than me, so let's list them down.
I mean, the obvious. I feel like everybody wants to see Shohei in a home run derby.
Yeah.
People get to games early to watch him take batting practice because it's just so impressive. He doesn't need to do it. He's already the best player in the league. He's already basically the face of the league. He doesn't need to do it. Hey, I see what you're doing. But another guy that has basically admittedly said I don't want to do it, that I think could win one, is Rafael Devers. He's another one who just has one of those violent swings that he hits tanks.
He does.
He hits tanks, and I think that he doesn't want to do it for whatever reason, but I'd love to see Devers in a home run derby. Another guy, low-key guy that I feel like baseball fans knows hit bombs, but from on a bigger stage, Brent Rooker from the A's.
Yeah,
another
he does.
guy that just hits tanks.
He does hit
homers.
tanks.
I like to see him, get a little bit of recognition.
Being on the A's doesn't help him.
No, not at all. I've seen some Phillies trade rumors about him.
Rooker in it? Really?
Yeah, something.
Interesting.
Corner outfielder guy. They don't. In my opinion, it's not. I don't want to give up like an Aiden Miller and Andrew Painter package for somebody like Josh Chisholm or Luis Robert or somebody like that. So if Brent Rooker's available, I'll take a Brent Rooker power bat. O'Neal Cruz, another guy we're talking about, violent swing. Exit velocity is just through the roof. I'd love to see him in a derby. And then Tatis, another just showman, a guy that's just going to go out there, put on a show for the fans. I'd love to see Tatis in a derby.
Yeah, I like all those picks. Those actually had me thinking because I was like, wow, those like O'Neal Cruz and Rafael Devers were two in that list that it would be really cool to see. Even though whenever I bet O'Neal Cruz for homer, he never hits one. He strikes out every time. But that's neither here nor there. All time for me, I almost just skipped right over mine.
Oh, man.
Oh, I didn't say that. Aaron Judge would be who I would want to see in it. The only issue that I have with the home run derby is that you do have to switch up your swing a bit, which can cause issues. Like it has caused issues with some players before that they do so good into the All-Star break, then do the home run derby. Now their swing has changed for the second half, which makes it a little hard because if you guys don't know, with the home run derby, you're not swinging like you usually swing at a baseball. You're swinging more elevated, so you're kind of swinging up, like more down and up, instead of when in baseball, balls aren't always high and up or like exactly where you want them. The player kind of decides whoever's pitching to them, and that pitcher, like they'll tell them, oh, I wanted this one place that they're good at hitting it. It could be low and in, it could be high and in, it could be low and outside. They're just good at hitting at certain spots. So that's what they like practice for. So it will screw up swings. I will say that about the home run derby. So I get why people wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially if they're like in a good position with their team. But Aaron Judge, he's a monster. I mean, he's 6'7", 6'8". He's just so big.
Yeah.
He hits bombs. It would be really cool.
Too.
He hits Oppo Taco home runs like it's nothing. Like he'll go 350 opposite side, and he barely touched it.
Yeah.
Another person, Shohei Ohtani, like you said, people show up early to see him swing the bat because he is that good. He's the second best player in the league. And second best player in the league.
Fair.
And you got Yordan Alvarez was my next one. Yordan.
Yeah.
That dude has a hack.
He takes hacks.
he
that
takes.
man swings a bat.
Yeah. He takes hard swings, and it would be cool to see him. But I do like your picks with O'Neal Cruz and Rafael Devers. Those are two that I really would enjoy to see. Those guys should sign up instead of Alec Bohm. And moving on. We've got you kind of came up with this idea because we did this all time before with just a full field.
Full lineup.
This time it's going to be a derby list. Mm-hmm. You can read out yours and I read out mine, and you kind of give your reasons why.
So one of these guys, this guy had a shorter prime, but his prime was absolutely dominant. Philadelphia Phillies legend Ryan Howard, 286 homers in his career. Just a guy that was putting up 50 home run seasons like it was nothing. The dropped bat after he swung, it was just iconic. Mm-hmm. So have to put Ryan Howard in there. A guy that a little bit of like nostalgia and a little bit of MLB The Show. Adam Dunn is another one that hit absolutely bomb of home runs. There was a video that I watched of him about the 3 true outcomes: home run, strikeout, walk, basically. Mm-hmm. And his was like either strikeout or home run every single time. It was hilarious.
That's all he did.
Yeah. Another guy I had, Manny Ramirez, 555 career homers. Just a goat of a baseball player growing up for us. Like another one, the bat drop, the hands in the air.
Oh yeah,
great. Frank Thomas, the big hurt, huge guy, 521 homers. I think that's a good pick. The classic Griffey backwards hat, got to have that in there.
Always.
And then you'd be remiss to not have Barry Bonds on this list. I don't care about the steroids. That man's going to put balls 600 feet in the air and put on a show. And you have to have him on your list, for me at least.
I agree. We share some of the same people there. Obviously, Ken Griffey Jr. has to be on it. Like you said, backwards hat. I mean, he's just a goat. I can't believe I got to meet him before. I mean, right on the red carpet recently. He was the nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
Had to put him in the list. 630 homers in his career. Just hits bombs. He would be sick to have in this all-time
injured
derby.
too. He's one of those guys that the injuries, man. Like,
I know.
He could have got to 700 easy.
I know. Easy. It's so sad. It is so sad. Injuries always mess those things up, man. And like you said, Barry Bonds, he's iconic. He's iconic. I mean, he took away my all-time leader in homers, Hank Aaron. Even though I love Hank Aaron, I was okay with it because Barry Bonds was a showman. He hits bombs. It was fun to watch him. Albert Pujols is my next one that we do not share. Over 700 career. You were upset I took him at first base. In our all-time list. I was surprised not to see that in your list. Albert Pujols. I mean, if you don't know, go on YouTube.
The machine.
The machine. That dude hits bombs. Moving on, Mark McGwire. He hit 70 homers in 1998, man, in one season. I mean, this dude, steroids. I think steroids makes baseball better. Bring them back. I do not care.
Man. I agree.
I do not care about steroids to anybody who's mad about it. It doesn't make you a better hitter. It makes you hit them farther, and I want to see that. Don't you want to see more fun in baseball?
I think that anybody that watched those home run races of like the 90s and 2000s will tell you that's like the most fun they've ever watched. They've ever had watching baseball. And to be mad about steroids, to me, I understand it. But in the same breath, the people that are the most mad are the ones that, never got a chance to play at a high level like that, right? Like, and feel as though something got taken from them because these guys took steroids. And it's
Hell
like,
no, they were still beasts.
Barry Bonds was gonna have 700 home runs regardless if he took steroids or not. You know what I mean? Like,
it just depended on how far they went, really.
Exactly.
That's
and
it.
like, sure, reaction time, muscle growth, I get it, but at the same time, you still got to put that bat on that ball, and you still got to time up a Randy Johnson 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming at you from a ridiculous arm angle. And steroids aren't helping you with that, you know? So, like, I get it.
And if it does, it's like the slightest bit that doesn't even factor into you hitting home runs.
Exactly.
It's just like
people. I use Barry Bonds as the example. Excuse me, because no matter what, he was going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And to not put him in the Hall of Fame because of the steroids is more of a technicality because you don't want to put other players in because of steroids. But Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer, and there's nothing people can tell me otherwise. Like,
yeah, I agree. That's 100% a true point that they just want to use it as an example to not put certain people in. I like the way you put that. Yeah. Clip that up. All right, the next one that I have is the exact same one that you have in Manny Ramirez. If you, like I said about Albert Pujols, if you haven't seen Manny Ramirez swing, it is sweet like butter. It's insane. Yeah, he has one of the best swings. Like you said, 5.55 in his career home runs. It would be sick to have these 5 right here in a home run derby, and year 5 would be very cool to be able to see. Maybe we can simulate it in MLB The Show.
We can throw it in the show.
But I had 2 honorable mentions in here. One's a biased one, and one's just one that I think deserves to be in it. Okay. Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
60-plus homers in 3 different seasons. Seasons, can't speak. That's insane. 60-plus in 3 seasons, in 3 different ones. The other one is Alex Rodriguez. 696 career home runs. This dude could tank the ball. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. Do you have any you can think of?
No, I have a point on Sammy Sosa that I thought was interesting. Sammy Sosa got caught up in that corked bat fiasco around the steroid era. And I watched a video from Foolish Bailey the other day where basically he talked about how they took like a bunch of Sammy Sosa's bats, because Sammy's excuse was that he used that bat for batting practice, and it was a mistake that he went up there with the bat. And it broke. It found out he got corked.
I remember,
They took a bunch of his bats and tested like all his bats, and none of them came back corked. That was the only one that came back corked. And his legacy got basically tarnished and ruined because of this corked bat. And he showed up on a report that was supposed to be an anonymous steroids report. Basically, they wanted to see how rampant it was in the league without punishing the players. And it ended up getting leaked. And there were some players' names in there that were like possibly positive. It was like David Ortiz was one of them. And Sammy Sosa was in that same list. And Sammy Sosa's career got tarnished and ran through the mud over a cork bat and a steroid allegation that both of them turned up to be fairly minute and fairly small at the end of the day. So I think Sammy needs to get his flowers a little bit more and kind of get his legacy revived. But no, I think our lists are pretty cool. I like Sammy. I like A-Rod. I think they both work.
Yeah, good honorable mentions there.
Yeah.
And to close it up, I went to Las Vegas recently for Powerslap, and I got to meet one of the coolest guys and coolest streamers out there, and one of the biggest out there right now, Sketch. I was on his stream. We'll throw up the clip.
Yo, Sketch. Sketch, bro. Huge fan, bro. Thank you, bro. What's up, brother? How you doing? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, dog.
I dapped him up, gave him a, what's up, brother? Nicest dude ever. We ended up in the VIP room after, and I said hi to him again. He's dripped out. He was totally in a different outfit. Poor guy's going through some things right now, and I feel bad, and I want to say something about it. First of all, whoever found those things,
you're deep in your bag.
You're really weird for that. There's no need to be digging that deep into somebody's life who he recently became famous out of nowhere, and he's the most humble guy you can have. Yes, I only met him once, and I don't care if people say I'm glazing him. The dude's a nice guy. Everybody's seen the clips, and you just there's no need to make this a bigger deal than it is, and I feel bad for him, and he looked really sad about it, and shame on everybody who's talking shit out there. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, if Sketch made you laugh at all and you're feeling some sort of way after these things kind of came out, you're a weirdo too. That's kind of the only way I feel about it. Like, who really cares what the man did?
Exactly.
He made you laugh. He's a hilarious human being. My man O says he's a cool guy. That's all we can really, there's nothing else we can really do. It's his life.
Exactly.
It doesn't affect us in any way. It shouldn't affect you in any way. You know, hope he gets through the rough times, because I'm sure it's not easy for him.
Definitely not. Couldn't imagine waking up to news like that, and it's plastered everywhere on X and on Instagram. So at the end of the day, screw everyone who's talking crap about him, and keep it pushing. And Sketch, you're good, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your guys' all-time home run derby list. That would be cool to hear. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away